We want to get right to our main story. That's Janet Yellen and her testimony in front of the Ways and Means Committee. This has to do with her testimony today. And of course, we want to get some comments from our Yahoo Finance's Jen Schonberger. So Jennifer, tell us what you're covering today.
Good morning, Jared. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says there are a few banks the department is closely monitoring after Silicon Valley Bank failed to raise fresh cash. Worries at SVB sparking fears that other banks could be forced to take losses and raise cash. Take a listen to the secretary.
There are recent developments that concern a few banks that I'm monitoring very carefully. And when banks experience financial losses, it is and should be a matter of concern.
Yellen, who is testifying this morning before the Republican House Ways and Means Committee on President Biden's 2024 proposed budget, also warned about failure to raise the debt ceiling, saying that could cause an economic calamity. Take a listen.
Since 1789, the United States has always paid its bills on time, and it must continue to do so. In my assessment and those of economists across the board, a default on our debt would trigger an economic and financial catastrophe. I urge all members of Congress to come together to address the debt limit without conditions and without waiting until the last minute.
Now, just moments ago, Yellen saying that debt prioritization is not a solution for raising the debt limit, calling that default by another name. Now, House Republicans have threatened not to raise the debt ceiling without federal spending cuts. The Treasury currently employing extraordinary measures to keep paying the U.S.'s bills, though those measures expected to run out by June. Now, Yellen also addressed the February jobs report, characterizing the job market as strong and noting the uptick in the labor participation rate. She said that with more people coming into the labor force, that could help address the supply and demand imbalance that the Fed is closely watching. Separately, Republicans on the committee took the hearings forum to grill the Treasury Secretary on increased funding for the IRS and concerns that uses for the funding are opaque and that the funding used to increase audits on wealthy Americans and corporations would actually be used for everyday Americans. Yellen repeatedly reassured lawmakers that the president has pledged not to increase audits on small businesses and even individuals earning more than $400,000 a year. Jared?
Lots to keep track of today, and we're glad you're on that, Jennifer Schonberger.